There are 3 levels of Black Lives Matter demands, okay? Don't forget, Black Lives Matter is an organization. It has a website. It has a list of demands. It has a Who We Are page. You can go to blacklivesmatter.com, I think it is, .com or .org, one of the two. You can go to the website. Here's what you expect them to say. They say, okay, they want to expose and prevent police brutality. They want to stop unjust deaths at the hands of vigilantes. They want to stop the general racism that threatens Black lives. Okay, right? Yeah, totally. We all get that. We all agree with that. This is a little bit less what you expect, but still within the realm of understanding. They're Black identitarians. In the same way that you have white identitarians, they are Black identitarians. They say, we're unapologetically Black, capital B, in our positioning. And the capital B matters here, right? They're not just saying we're one group of Americans. They're saying we're Black. This is a separate thing. In affirming that Black Lives Matter, we need not qualify our position. To love and desire freedom and justice for ourselves is a prerequisite for wanting the same for others. Here's the money line. We see ourselves as part of the global Black community, and we're aware of the different ways we're impacted or privileged as Black people who exist in different parts of the world. So already you hear a little bit of this more Marxist language all around the world, transnational, not focusing on bonds of national loyalty, not saying we're Americans, we love America. No, they're saying we're part of the global Black community, Black people of the world unite, getting a little bit more of an explicit Marxist message, but still within the realm, okay, it's called Black Lives Matter, obviously, it's gonna have a little bit of a Black identitarian component to it. Then you get to the craziest level. This is from the Black Lives Matter website. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folk. Huh? What? So look, don't mistake this. They're not intersectional in the way that leftist politics usually is. Saying like, yeah, you know, the Hispanics have something in common with the Muslims, have something in common with the lesbian tap dancers, have something in common, right, with all the disparate oppression groups that then can go and attack the oppressor group of straight white men who think that they're men, who come from money, who could write on and on and on. That's not what's happening. Every qualification here, trans, women, it's all about being Black, which is in a way a little bit refreshing in leftist politics because it's a little more old school. It's a little more old school Marxism than whatever has been happening for the last few decades. They say especially we want to protect Black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. All this language, cisgender, privilege, trans folk, is the language of radicals. We build a space that affirms Black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. Okay, getting more into the sexual politics. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their contexts. Comrades, an explicitly communist term. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work double shifts. Okay, so now the patriarchy is involved here. And then this is the money line. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially for our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. If you support the nuclear family, then you are standing in opposition to Black Lives Matter. The Western prescribed nuclear family, as they put it. And then we foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless she, he, or they disclose otherwise, right? So this same kind of sexual revolutionary language. It is not possible to be a conservative and to support the Black Lives Matter movement. It is not possible to be a reasonable person and support the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of conservatives, even conservatives, a lot of reasonable people think they support the Black Lives Matter movement because they think that Black Lives Matter, and they think the Black Lives Matter movement is about how Black lives matter. That's not what it's about, okay? I think the best analogy would be what they do in Congress. You know, I'm looking down the street, I can see the Capitol down the street. This is what they do in Congress. Whenever there's a really bad bill, really ugly, awful legislation that is really harmful to people, they give it a really nice sounding name. So you can almost judge how bad a bill is by how nice the name sounds. They will cram in the worst policies ever, and then they'll call the bill the Don't Murder Puppies Act of 2020. And they'll say, okay, Congressman, are you going to vote for the Don't Murder Puppies Act of 2020? And then you're in a bad spot because you say, actually, that bill is really terrible and it includes all this stuff that everyone's going to hate and it's going to destroy all of our lives. But they'll say, but it's called the Don't Murder Puppies Act, so you got to support it. It's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. They'll say, hold on, you don't support Black Lives Matter? What are you, a racist? What are you, a bigot? What are you, a white supremacist, neo-Nazi, Klansman Nazi supremacist? You say, no, I don't think we should destroy the family. So I can't, they tell me that if I support the family, I can't support BLM. And that's true. That's exactly what's going on here. And I get it. There are a lot of people who posted the stupid square on social media because basically everybody pressured them into doing it. And you don't want to lose your job if you didn't do it and you thought it meant that you support black people. It's not what it means. Do not support Black Lives Matter. No one should support this terrible, terrible, radical, leftist, disastrous, awful, how many more bad adjectives can I use? Organization. It's not possible to support your country, to support your family, to support any sort of reasonable politics and support this radical movement, and they should be shunned from the mainstream of radical politics before they do even more damage, like, for instance, destroy the cops.